Washington's push to swiftly end the conflict in Ukraine has sparked speculation that Western brands may seek a return to Russia. However, the markets they vacated now appear more competitive than they were 3 years ago. As Ukraine marked the anniversary of Russia's military offensive, former U.S. President Donald Trump suggested the war could end within weeks, though the details remain unclear. Even if sanctions ease to allow companies to re-enter, they will face a transformed marketplace where domestic and Chinese brands have taken hold.
Заменить удалось, восстановить экономику нет.
We managed to replace Western brands with Russian ones, but didn't manage to restore our shopping mall's economy. One of the reasons is the fact that Western brands used to attract many customers. Our finances were on a different level. For example, compared to 2019, by now shopping centers have lost around 20% of visitors. This fact has its impact on cash flow and rental rates.
Да, действительно, ряд ниш был успешно заменен.
Indeed, some segments have been successfully replaced by Russian brands that have adapted. They adapted their format, model range, and design. For example, I am talking about such brands as Gloria Jeans, Melon Fashion Group, which owns Be Free, Zarina. I'm also talking about Lime, which has made a hit, and in some places their cash flow even exceeds that of the Western brands who left. Nevertheless, such a mass return of Western brands, expected by many, can push rental rates higher and give a new impetus to the economy of shopping centers. It can provide an opportunity to build new facilities and refresh old ones. But for Russian brands, the potential return of Western brands, will be a difficult thing. This is why various initiatives are being discussed now, including payments imposed on Western brands in case of a company's return to the Russian market. The goal is to create equal conditions, because we understand that Western brands have access to cheaper loans in the West and cheaper supplies of products.
For shopping malls, the landscape has shifted significantly. The premium spaces once occupied by Western giants have been filled by Russian competitors, and industry experts say these locations are now tied up in long-term contracts. Moscow is also unlikely to welcome returning brands with open arms. President Vladimir Putin has stated that Russian manufacturers should receive preferential treatment, while government officials have hinted that some U.S. companies could return as early as the second quarter of this year.
In the very beginning, it was really hard because the Russian retail market for clothing and footwear was underdeveloped. But now, absolutely not. Our local brands produce things that are absolutely no worse than Western ones. Our Russian designers are now developing very well as the mass market.
Допустим, на мне шуба, это тоже российский бренд, Only Me. Вот, это искусственный мех, эко-шубы, но смотрится тоже очень классно и замечательно, вот, не уступает ничуть люксу. Вот, сумка у меня тоже Эконика, тоже российский бренд, обувь тоже Эконика, российский бренд, поэтому я очень люблю российские бренды, и мне кажется, что наоборот даже здорово, что ушли западные бренды, и мы можем развивать наш рынок и покупать то, что делают наши производители, наши дизайнеры и наши ребята.
The lack of Western brands is very much felt. For example, Uniqlo, where one could buy basic t-shirts. I'm talking about a budget-friendly segment where most people. McDonald's got worse. There are no potato wedges anymore.
Это очень сильно ощущается. Например, Uniqlo, где можно было купить базовые футболки. Ну, я именно для эконом-сегмента, где большинство людей. Вот. Макдональдс испортился. Вот. Нет картошки по-деревенски. Рада, не рада, честно, мне как бы на радость мою не влияют бренды. Вот. Такой ответ. Ну, главное, чтобы у людей был выбор. Пусть возвращаются. У людей, у россиян должен быть выбор.
The auto industry has experienced a dramatic transformation. With Renault, Volkswagen, and Nissan pulling out, Chinese automakers have stepped in, now accounting for more than half of new car sales in Russia, up from less than 10% before the war. Domestic car makers have also gained ground, growing their market share from 20% to 30%.